I walked into that bar expecting nothing, just another quiet night, maybe a quick drink. And then I ended up sitting next to this old man.
I've been playing country music for nearly 40 years, always chasing the next town. From Shreveport to Kalamazoo, I played them all. Music was my first love, but people were always a close second. Some people you meet, you never forget.
The road teaches you more about people than anything else.
Not every story you hear on the road ends well.
There's something sacred about the exchange between a musician and a listener. They give you their time, their attention, and their hard-earned money.
And in return, you give them something they can feel.
After the show, it's not just business. It's about connection, about listening.
That's why I never rush out after a set.
Over the years, I've met people I'll never forget.
Good folks, honest folks.
The kind that remind you the world isn't such a bad place.
But every now and then,
You meet someone different. The kind that stays with you long after you've left town. That night, we found ourselves in a college town called Brookings, South Dakota.
Good crowd, good bar, everything felt right.
we played for 3.5 hours straight. By the end,
at the time, it just felt like another good night.
After the show, we stuck around like we always do.
Selling CDs, signing shirts, just talking. It wasn't just about making a few extra bucks.
You shake a man's hand, he's twice as likely to come back next time. By around 1:30, the place started emptying out. Most of the band had already left, but I stayed. In the end, it was just me and Larry left.
Larry was still trying to get someone to play pool.
I was just about ready to call it a night.
When an old-timer slid onto the stool beside me. He looked like he'd lived a long life. Miss Summers. He said we played a damn good show.
We got to talking, just simple things at first.
We talked about touring, living on the road.
Then he asked if we ever broke down out in the middle of nowhere.
Sometimes, a truck stop feels a lot scarier than an empty road.
Then he asked if we carried protection. And he didn't mean the kind you keep in your wallet. I told him the truth. Sometimes, yeah, we carried. It depended on where we were and what kind of trouble might find us. Our driver, he usually had something on him.
I joked, hoped he wasn't some ATF agent.
He laughed. Swore he wasn't no Fed. But then he got serious again. Then he asked if we'd ever had to use it. We'd had some close calls, some real sticky situations. But by the grace of God, I'd never seen anyone shot. He said he had. Not just once. More than a few times. I didn't quite know what to make of what he'd just said.
I figured maybe it came from some kind of service.
Naturally. He looked like someone who'd seen a lot. But he just shook his head. Said it had nothing to do with anything like that.
What he started describing next was something much closer to home.
It wasn't anything like I expected. It was personal.
He told me about a house, once full of life.
A wife, children, everything in its place. Then, everything changed.
And after that, he was alone.
And that's where his story really began. For a while, things stayed quiet where he lived. But over time, something started to change.
People started noticing things weren't the same anymore.
Things started disappearing, little by little.
And before long, people didn't feel as safe anymore.
And a man living alone started to stand out. It started small, something taken while he wasn't there.
He began to realize he wasn't just unlucky. So he started staying up at night, just watching.
Night after night, sleep became harder to find.
He knew, sooner or later, something was coming. Then one night, something felt different.
He saw lights far down the road. And then he saw them moving closer.
This time, he didn't wait.
But they didn't react the way he expected.
And just like that, he knew this wasn't over.
The next morning, he went to talk to the sheriff.
He explained everything as clearly as he could. I've gone over these numbers twice. The truth is, we just don't have the resources to help you right now. He told him, sometimes the smartest move is to step away. Now, is it worth holding on? Or better to let it go? And just like that, the decision was his to make.
He told the sheriff he'd leave, and for a moment, it seemed like he would.
He made it look real, packing everything up.
But not everything was what it seemed.
Every detail placed with intention.
To anyone watching, he was gone.
But he never really left.
He spent the evening getting everything just right. From the outside, it looked completely empty.
But he was close, watching everything. And then he waited. And sure enough, they came back.
This time, everything was exactly where it needed to be.
This time, everything was exactly where it needed to be.
Everything changed in a split second.
And just like that, it was quiet again.
He didn't move. Oof. Just stood there.
For him, it meant things were different now. And that's when I realized I'd been listening to something much deeper than a story.
I just sat there for a while, trying to take it all in.
I started seeing him a little differently after that.
You never really know what someone's been through. Some of the quietest people have the heaviest stories. And to anyone else, he was just another old man at the bar. But I knew there was a whole lot more behind those quiet eyes.
I paid my tab and headed out into the night.
But I couldn't shake what he told me. It stuck with me more than I expected.
Made me realize you never really know who someone is.
And back inside, he was just sitting there like nothing ever happened. If you sat down next to him, you'd probably never guess what he's lived through.